Data recorders hold vital answers as to what was happening on board MH17 in its last moments before it fell from the sky. There are concerns the crash site's been tampered with by pro-Russian separatists, making this evidence more crucial than ever.
There's never a perfect accident site when it comes to evidence. In this case, where clearly some of the evidence has been moved and likely tampered with, they're going to have to work really hard to make sure that the evidence is telling them what they think it's telling them.
Black boxes were once black, but they're now always orange, so they're easier to spot in a wreckage. One records the aircraft's controls, the other the last 2 hours of cockpit voice recordings. And it's British investigators who've listened to these recordings of the last moments on board MH17.
So if there was an in-flight emergency in some way, then often we might hear a radio transmission to air traffic control. That didn't happen in this case. If there is nothing and things are completely normal and then something very sudden happens, then that means that the event was without precedence. They didn't know that something was going wrong, and that could fit with the theory of a missile.
It took 2 years to find and recover the black boxes from the Air France flight that vanished between Rio de Janeiro and Paris in 2009. But the data was perfectly preserved. It finally gave families answers and proved that pilot error had contributed to the crash. The black box technology so robust, they survived 2 years submerged under 13,000 feet of seawater.
What's really important is what's inside here, and this is the protective casing for the recording, and it's protected from heat, it's protected from water, and it's protected from impact. They're in the tail of the aeroplane because it's most likely to absorb some of the impact of the crash, so therefore it's a higher likelihood that the recorder will survive intact.
British investigators will pass their findings to the Dutch authorities, who will decide what will be made public. But this may now be their first piece of evidence to prove whether or not it was a missile that caused this crash, killing 298 people. Sally Lockwood, 5 News.